folks. We're almost there. We're almost home. And live from New York, it's Saturday night. I apologize for that. But yeah, we're going to talk with Manav Shah at the bottom of the hour. Local kid, raised here, played here, Bakersfield Country Club's his home course. He's been bumping around on foreign tours. And I just saw him last week. He was telling me, I believe he went down to Texas to qualify, and he's done so. He will be a member of the U.S. Open field that begins the weekend of Father's Day, that Thursday. So we're excited to talk to him, give him a victory lap, and give him some love as he goes on to hopefully at least qualify. And who knows? Who knows? It's golf. He catches on fire for a couple of days. Who knows? As my father used to say, you never know. You just never know. It's a Thursday, so Mike Turnipseed will be here at 4 o'clock. We'll talk with our money man, Daniel Petrie, at 4:30. And while I broke the story, I didn't break the story, but I told you about the fact that there's going to be a Michael 2 follow-up, a sequel to the Michael that is still killing on the weekends. I think it was still #1 this past weekend in box office. There's also going to drop June 3rd a documentary entitled Michael Jackson, The Verdict. You remember Mr. Bentley, our entertainment professional who joins us every Friday, tomorrow at 3:30. His critique was that it only goes to 1988. It doesn't get into Michael's situation with young children. Well, this documentary, filled with archival footage, interviews with all the players, including the jurors and the defense team and the prosecution team, delves specifically and exclusively about that. So this should be fascinating. It's a documentary that comes out June 3rd. The family, I'm sure the first question you're probably asking, family has nothing to do with it. The Jackson family has nothing to do with it. Whether they're involved in terms of interviews, I highly doubt, but we'll see. Come June 3rd, I'm looking forward to that. You may remember Michael was acquitted on 10, and I forgot this, that it was 10 felony counts, 4 counts of child molestation, 4 counts of plying children with alcohol, and how he dodged that one, I'll never know. Because wasn't the whole, what did they call it, Jesus juice? Wasn't that pretty well documented? That he was giving these kids wine and calling it Jesus juice? Am my memory as bad as, am I just making that up? Well, anyway, that's coming out June 3rd. And we've got another fat drug that we're going to tell you about that they're saying is even more potent than Wegovy or any of the ones that are out there. And, you know, I'm in favor of anything that gets this country skinnier. We are the #1 killer for both men and women by far. You take all the cancers and put them together, and it doesn't touch what heart disease does to this country. It is the #1 killer for men and women. And what is tragic, what is so stupid, is it's the one disease we can actually stave off. Now, genetically, if you're predisposed, your grandfather and your father had a heart attack, even if you eat right, even if you exercise, you're more prone. But this is the one disease that we can, if we can just, know our numbers, as I try to stress every single time I talk about medicine with you all, know your numbers, know what your A1C is, know what your blood pressure is, know what your cholesterol level is. Go see a physician at least at bare minimum twice a year. I try to go quarterly, but you should at least go twice a year. And if we can get people, and this is the only way we're going to do it. They're not going to do it. We've learned over the decades, we're not going to do it on self-discipline and people going to In Shape or gyms or starting to run or walk or exercise. That's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. We're a fat and lazy country, let's face it. And so if these drugs can get us to be thinner and get us off the obesity trail and stave off heart disease, we would be saving hundreds of thousands of lives. We really, really are. It makes no sense that heart disease is our #1 killer. But we begin with, of course, the president's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization plan, which met with a stone wall from GOP senators who are the only ones that could save this. I have a pair of attorneys in Los Angeles, buddies of mine, kids I grew up with. One works for the U.S. Attorney's Office and one is in private practice. And he's with one of the leading firms in Los Angeles. And we've got Teresa Golder, our federal judge, but attorneys differ. We've seen that on the highest court of the land. And so I go to these guys with my questions and I ask them about the two policemen who are suing the Trump administration about this fund that's going to reimburse people that committed crimes, violent crimes against police officers. And they flat out told me, Ralph, I don't think these guys have standing. I really don't think these guys have standing. And I think their suit's going to be summarily tossed out. They have to show some sort of damage. While one of the officers, we played you the audio of Daniel Hodges, and we'll play some audio from him in just a second. But while he was pushed up against the wall and they took off his mask and he breathed in some toxic air, the two guys that I spoke with separately both agreed that they don't think they have standing and that their suit will be summarily tossed out. The only way this thing's going to be stopped, it seems, is by the Senate, who now have balked on the president's immigration and ICE policy. They were scheduled to get that done before they left for the Memorial Day recess, but are not doing so. Some are speculating to try to work a deal with the president. They are not happy with this, including the majority leader, John Thune, and a number of Republican senators, because they realize if they sign off on this thing, their future is in jeopardy. And again, I just vehemently disagree with Howard. I love Howard to death. He's one of the smartest guys on our program. That's why we have him on. But this incentivizes criminal activity. Have you seen the list of people that are Mike Lindell, the pillow grifter, the biggest sham artist since P.T. Barnum, is asking for money. Who else is asking for money? And Enrique Torrio, the head of the Proud Boys, is asking for money. George Santos, you know George Santos, the first man into space, the man who invented glue, the man that, what else has he done? Discovered gravity. You remember George Santos, the most pathological liar ever since Richard Nixon. He wants money. And get this. Now, if this isn't a grift, I don't know what. According to the Washington Post, the agreement states that payments will be reported quarterly to the Justice Department, but those records will remain confidential, and that the fund members will get to decide whether to disclose the process for granting or denying a claim. In other words, they're going to do this behind closed doors, and we're going to have no idea who gets the money, how much money they got, or why they got the money. And you think this is legit? You think this kind of process is on the up and up? Why isn't it transparent? If Howard's right, and these people were so unjustifiably prosecuted and so unjustifiably jailed, then why is this such a big secret? Why are they pulling a black tent over this entire process? Let us see what's going on. Let's see who gets the money. Let's see how much they get. Remember, there's a guy in prison who the State Department has, or the Justice Department has recognized molested children using his future funds to help them out. In other words, he was a child molester. He was telling kids, I'm going to get millions of dollars from my participation in the January 6th thing. I'll hook you up. I'll give you some money. Come hang out with me a little bit. That is a fact. And to say that this doesn't incentivize criminality, what is to stop the Proud Boys during the midterms to rush state houses all across the country, or to again rush the Capitol? Hey, Joe, you do 5 years, you can call back and get a couple of $1 million. You can get reimbursed. It's crazy, and it creates a slippery slope. And I thought I made that point by making the reference to reparations for Black folks, which I thought my audience and Howard knew that I am dead set against. But I brought that up to show the ridiculous nature of what we're doing and the slippery slope. Who gets reparations? Do the Japanese? Do Native Americans? Do Black folks? Do Irish? Do Jews? It is the same thing with this slush fund. Who gets it? Who qualifies? Who was wrongfully punished? Many of these people went by Trump judges. And Since when are we suddenly paying back people who have been experienced unjust justice, if there's such a phrase? I just and at the end, the bottom line is politics is about winning. At the end of the day, as Ronald Reagan said, you can't do anything if you're on the sidelines. And politically, this is a nightmare. And just when we're going into where? The midterms. So now Trump has got an angry Senate. He's backing a Texas Senate candidate that cannot and will not win. Do you understand that they have not had a Texas Democrat senator since I was in my 20s? And James Tellerico, I guarantee you, is going to beat Ken Paxton. And if Ken Paxton wins that Senate seat, I will crawl out of the state of California on my belly, because this guy is a nightmare. He was indicted for fraud. He was impeached by his own state legislator, and he cheated on his state senator wife. And he's going up against a pastor. And what's Trump's big criticism of him? He's a vegan. Ooh, I just hurt my scar. Let's go. Let's go. When we come back, you'll hear from Daniel Hodges. He's one of the police officers, Capitol police officers, who is suing. But again, as my guys tell me, ain't going to go anywhere. And if this fund is going to be stopped, it's going to have to be stopped in Congress by either the House or the Senate. And of course, Mike Johnson kneels to the president, so it'll have to be John Thune and 53 Republican senators to stop this thing. Just a couple of minutes, we're going to talk to the local golfer who is qualified for the U.S. Open. Manav Shah joins us, two-time BC Open champion. He's been on the Latin tour for a while. Great kid, grown-ass man, kid to me. I'll talk with Manav in just a minute. Mike Turnipseed, 4 o'clock. Money Man, Daniel Petrie at 4:30. And I got a ton of miscellaneous news and notes. Shay what? Who? Mr. Ohtani. Shohei led the ballgame off last night with a home run, then took the mound and threw 5 scoreless innings. What's his ERA now, Chris? If it was 0.82, the second lowest in Dodger history, after 5 scoreless innings, what is it, about 0.59?
Give me 1 second. They're showing me his batting average, but they're not showing me his ERA. I don't know why.
Well, he led a victory over the Padres. We take 2 or 3 out of them. We're on our way to Wisconsin to take on the Brewers, back in first place, 1.5 games on them. And we got a series in Oklahoma. The Thunder came back in a big roll and took out San Antonio. We're down 1-1.
0.73.
0.73 ERA for the greatest hitter in baseball. Good googly.
4-2 record, though.
What you mean, no?
No.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. 4-2 record. He's on his way to a 20-win season.
So there's a little bit of a chink in the armor. That's all it is.
He's on his way to a 20-win season. What you talking about? Quick timeout. We're just getting started on a Thursday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio.
Best maker.
And AM 12.
And all of your audio is there now.
You wanted to be cool,
Thank you.
which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more
Hey, Siri.
at savedbythescan.org.
Show me Senator
Brought
Tom
to you by
Tillis.
the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
Here's some info about Tom Tillis.
Hope you'll keep it locked. Coming up at 4:30. It's a Thursday, so Daniel Petrie, our money man from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, joins us. I've told you now for years, the smartest thing that I've ever done was about 10 years ago, becoming a client at Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. In my 50s, retirement wasn't really in my mind, but I'm glad I got in early because now It's staring me dead in the face. And if you're looking at retirement, you need to call the folks at Best Maker and Peachtree Wealth Advisors. As I've told you, one of the things I'm most proud of is I've turned a couple of colleagues here on to Daniel, and they could not be happier at what he's done for them and their family. Call Daniel today at 395-9400, 395-9400. And their offices are located right on the corner of 21st and Oak. And just keep it locked. Daniel joins us at 4:30 right here on the Ralph Bailey Show.
This broadcast is for informational purposes only and does not constitute investment advice or a solicitation for advisory services by Daniel Peachtree or MPWA Incorporated, DBA, Messmaker, and Peachtree Wealth Advisors. The program host is a client and receives compensation and other financial benefits in connection with this advertisement, creating a conflict of interest. Experiences discussed may not be representative of other clients.
Kern County is hiring its next state assembly member. Let's review the applicants. Applicant 1, Ana Palacio. Top funders, Sacramento Special Interests spending big to buy her the job. Healthcare plan, $700 billion government takeover that eliminates Medicare for millions of seniors and gives control of our healthcare decisions to Sacramento politicians. Pretty radical. There's no way we can afford Ana Palacio. Applicant 2, Andre Gonzalez. Experience, elected to the Bakersfield City Council. Record, addressed housing affordability and brought jobs to Kern County. Healthcare plan, expand access and bring a medical school to Kern County. Accountable to Kern County voters. Oh, easy choice. Vote for Andre Gonzalez for state assembly. Kern County's voice every time. Ad paid for by Keep California Golden. Ad committee's top funders, California Association of Realtors, Alliance of California's Farmers and Ranchers, and California Building Industry Association. Not authorized by a candidate or a committee controlled by a candidate.
If you're struggling to hear conversations, TV, or the people you love, now there's an easier, more affordable solution without spending thousands. Audion Hearing makes high-quality, rechargeable hearing aids starting at just $98 with free shipping and dedicated one-on-one support in the comfort of your own home. No doctor's offices, no pressure. Clearer hearing delivered right to your door. Join over 1 million happy customers hearing life more clearly. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
What's love got to do with it? Let me read you the lead out of the Wall Street Journal. This is Lindsay Wise, Richard Rubin, and Saboyne Hughes, Dateline Washington. Senate Republicans broke with President Trump over his administration's plan to create a $1.8 billion settlement fund to pay people who claim political persecution, with widespread opposition forcing party leaders Thursday to abandon votes on immigration enforcement funding and send lawmakers home early for their Memorial Day break. The anti-weaponization fund is a Trump priority after he alleged for years that his supporters, including those prosecuted over the January 6, 2021 attack at the Capitol, have been targeted unfairly by the Biden administration. But its creation has run into blowback in the Senate, and the immigration enforcement bill gave senators leverage to dig in their heels. Let's turn to North Carolina Senator Tom Tillis.
It sends a signal, hey, go breach the Capitol, destroy the building, assault police officers, you may even get compensated for someday. That's absurd.
It is absolutely absurd. Here's more. We played some audio from the past, but this is recent audio. This is Daniel Hodges. This is one of the 2 police officers that's suing the Trump administration. Again, let me be redundant about the point that 2 pretty good attorney friends of mine, of course, we'll bring this up when we get back from the Memorial Day weekend on Tuesday with Teresa Goldner, but they don't think these officers have any standing and that their suit will be summarily dismissed. Do we have time to sneak it in? Hit it.
Be rewarded by the government for their attempt to overthrow the government. They tried to stop the peaceful transfer of power. They wanted to assassinate the vice president. They assaulted me and my colleagues. They instilled fear and terror in members of Congress, the staff, congressional staff. There's no reason that the government should be giving these people money. And so many of them pled guilty in a court of law, and they had very fair trials. I was there.
And it was in all the papers. Quick time out. We're talking with U.S. Open qualifier Manav Shah right after these important words. Don't go anywhere.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Kyle Busch, a two-time Cup Series champion who won more races than anyone across NASCAR's three national series, has died at the age of 41. Busch family, Richard Childress Racing and NASCAR issued a joint statement Thursday saying that Busch died after being hospitalized. No cause of death was given. The former leader of a Minnesota nonprofit has been sentenced to nearly 42 years in prison for her role in a staggering $250 million fraud case. Amy Bach ran Feeding Our Future, which had claimed it provided millions of meals to children in need during the pandemic. She appeared Thursday in Minneapolis federal court. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 276 points, the Nasdaq rose 22, the S&P advanced 12. More details at srnnews.com.
Diabetes? Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Chris Davis. The man who was shot and killed Wednesday by Tulare County deputies in Tulare had a cell phone in his hand, and that was mistaken as a weapon when he ran out of a house on Matheny Drive. Deputies had been sent there to check on the man, and he had refused to come out, doing so suddenly. His name has not been released, and the California Department of Justice is now investigating. A sentence of 25 years to life was handed Christopher Colady in the stabbing death of his aunt, 45-year-old Maria Carmen Torres, which happened December 7th, 2024, at their house on Haley Street when Torres was ready to kick Colady and his sister out of the house over a clogged toilet. Police say Colady pepper sprayed his aunt and then stabbed her 7 times. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru, and summer has arrived, and it's time to plan the summer road trip. And what better car to do it in than a brand new Subaru? And if you want something sporty and comfortable, then the choice is clear, the Outback. And now, through June 1st, lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $5,000 due at signing. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. However, offer ends June 1st. So stop by, see my dear friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy, and test drive a brand new Outback today. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersville Auto Mall.
Lease a 2026 Subaru Outback Premium CVT with TSRP $37,158, $229 per month plus tax for 6 months. Total lease payment $8,836, $5,021 total lease at lease signing. Total lease cost $13,857. No security deposit. Lease based on 7,500 miles per year, 15 cents per mile over. Available to qualified customers through Subaru Motor Finance on approved credit. Expires 6/126. Excludes optional equipment and dealer installed accessories. VIN number TY462135.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome. Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show,
Siri,
The JR Show,
call Manav
starting
Shah.
at 1 p.m. Now, back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
and great. Those are the days. Do you guys know the end of that? G.R. Old LaSalle. Those were the days. Apparently, LaSalle was. We are obviously waiting on Manav Shah. I'm sure you're to him, but we'll talk with him in just a second. If you did not, he's qualified for the U.S. Open. He's a two-time BC Open champion out of Bakersfield Country Club, his home course. He's a local kid. This is exciting stuff, man. We're going to see this kid on television Thursday and Friday, hopefully on Saturday and Sunday. Hopefully he'll make the cut. The U.S. Open this year is being played at Shinnecock Hills, and we'll talk about, I'm pretty sure when I talked to him last week, he was headed to Texas to qualify. So it'll be fun to see what he had to shoot to qualify, what he ended up shooting. And, has he ever been to Shinnecock? Has he seen the course? Is it going to be the first time he's going to see the course when he heads back to New York? The U.S. Open is played every year over Father's Day weekend. And the story of the Open, beyond our local kid getting in, will be the fact that arguably the greatest player in the world is going to be vying for his career Grand Slams. If Scottie Scheffler can win the U.S. Open, he joins Rory McIlroy and 6 others, Tiger, Jack, Ben, Hogan, Gary Player, I think Gene Sarazen. I can't remember all of them with the career Grand Slam, as Jordan Spieth just had a chance to do at the PGA Championship, but was unable. You got him? Ladies and gentlemen, on the first tee at Shinnecock Hills, from Bakersfield, California, Manav Shah. Play away, Mr. Shah. Dude,
Wow.
that would be ringing in my head right now. How are you, man? Congratulations.
That's funny. I was just driving, and that's what came on my Spotify.
Is that right? Congratulations, man. First, where did you qualify? What did you have to shoot? And what did you end up shooting?
Yes, I qualified at Dallas Athletic Club on Monday.
Yeah. Had you ever seen the course before?
I'd only played one of them. They got two sets of 18 holes, so we played both courses. So I'd seen the blue before. I hadn't seen the gold. But I went early, played a couple of practice rounds, and I shot 5 under for 2 rounds.
Nice.
And it took 3 under was a playoff. So 4 under got in clean, and I shot 5 under.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah. Congratulations. Yeah. Have you ever been to Shinnecock?
I have not.
Yeah. When are you going? How many practice rounds will you get in?
I'm gonna go check it out next weekend, play it twice before the actual week starts, and then I'll get there pretty early during the week.
Yeah.
And check it out then also. So I'll be able to get a few rounds in.
Yeah. Who's gonna be on your bag?
That is the hot topic right now. It's probably my wife. She caddied for me at the finals and got me through, so no need to switch that up.
But yeah, if it ain't broken, don't fix it.
We'll see.
I'm sure Jimmy Cisneros and Paul Guerra are crying in their milk right now, but okay. I thought you would go with one of those guys. And I'm always available if your wife, something happens. I'm always here for you. I'm always here for you.
Your first alternate, Ralph.
Well, I appreciate that. This has to be just an all-time dream for you, man.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things I've been working for, since I started swinging the club. So it's nice to see that come to fruition. I'm excited to get rolling.
Yeah. What were you doing well? What do you think is your strength, and what can you do at Shinnecock?
I think, honestly, this game is so funny. You need a set of physical skills. You got to be able to hit the shots and, do all the things. But if you don't have a mind on you, you're not going to get it. So that's something I've prioritized throughout my career, and I'm starting to see the fruits of the labor on all the hard work I've done with that. And obviously, U.S. Opens are the biggest mental test. I think that could be, my advantage against some of the guys in the field is I take pride in that, and that could be my little Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. Has the USGA, obviously, this is a stupid question, but the USGA has contacted you. What have they told you? Anything?
They threw a bunch of information at me and said, go over this when you get a second and call me, because it's not in English and you're not going to understand what it says. So
Yeah. And
I'm kind of going through the handbook and getting accustomed to what's gonna go on. So
yeah. So you think you have a really good sense of what you need to do, and is it any different than maybe the Latin tour, the tours that you've already been on?
so as of late, I've been playing against some hard competition. So I'm sure some of those guys will be there, and most of the field I've played against at some point in my life, whether it's college, junior golf, or professional golf. So
yeah,
I don't think there would be any fresh faces that I haven't seen.
Yeah. Obviously.
Besides Tiger and Rory, but
right.
Who cares about them?
Talking with Manav Shah, he is qualified local player out of BCC, Bakersfield Country Club, qualified for the U.S. Open that's coming up. Obviously, maybe you do. Let me ask some stupid questions. So maybe you do. Any idea who you're playing with day one?
No, that'll come out, I think, the week of on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. And how do you do practice rounds? Do you ask guys, hey, you want to play with me? Or do you just, how does that work?
So the U.S. Open, I've been told just 20 minutes ago, is one of the few events where you have to make a tee time for a practice round.
Yeah.
Most events, you just show up and it's first come, first serve.
Okay.
So this one, I've been told to pre-arrange some rounds. So I gotta go through the field here and see who I want to play with on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay. Who you got any people in mind?
I'll definitely play one day with some of the college boys, with Patrick Cantlay and Jake Knapp, maybe Saya Tigala, some of the guys from SoCal.
Yeah, and some of those guys have played the BC Open, do they not?
I think Sahith and Jake.
Yeah.
Both have it.
Yeah. So
and then I'll try to get in with. I've gotten a route for Justin, and I was able to meet him a few times over in Asia. So
for who?
Justin Rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I met him.
Veteran.
So if I can get 18 holes with him, I think I'll learn a lot, and we'll kind of keep one day open.
Yeah, that's outstanding. That is outstanding. What do you know? Manav Shah, our guest, qualifying for the U.S. Open. What do you know about Shinnecock Hills? What kind of course is it? It's a U.S. Open, so obviously I'm assuming the fairways are going to be narrow, the rough is going to be deadly, and the greens are going to be fast as hell. But beyond that, what do you know about it?
I know it's in the Hamptons, I'll tell you that. So it's not going to be a cheap week. But I watched the 2018 highlights the other night, and it looks
smart.
Fun. It looks fun. It looks hard. It's windy. The fairways are going to be. This might be the biggest difference on courses, because I've seen firm and fast, but fairways have a lot of rollout. The ball doesn't just land in the stop; it's going to roll 40 yards. So that'll be a challenge. Obviously, the rough's going to be up, and the greens are going to be very fast. Yeah, and there might be a few people watching. So
yeah, suffice it to say,
that could be something new. But I think it's going to be a great week. I've been doing everything I can the last 20 years to incrementally get better, and it's just part of the pathway.
Yeah, you taking your family with you?
Yeah, the family will be there for sure.
Good, outstanding. Well, congratulations, Pop. This is really, really exciting. We're hoping that you can make the cut. I'm certain that you can, and then once you make the cut, who freaking knows? You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I agree completely. If I do what I know I can, I'm sure I'll be just fine.
Yeah. Give us a sense before I let you go. Give us a sense of what you hit. Like what's a typical driver for you?
I'd say on the totem pole of professional golfers, I'm probably pretty average. I fly driver about 295, 300, 3 woods about 275, 280, 5 woods about 250, and then 4 irons 225-ish, 5 irons about 210, all the way down to my 60, which is about 95, 98.
295, 300, and that's average. That's crazy.
That's the state of the game. That's the state of the game today, man.
Yeah.
All these athletes are starting to play. Since Tiger came on in 2000, everyone started to work out, and it's just attracted a whole new breed of players. So,
yeah, absolutely.
The game's definitely changed.
And with the equipment, the clubs, the balls, dude, I grew up playing with a lot of balls. So good. And persimmon woods. That's how old I am. Final. I lied to you. Final. Parents are driving around. They've got their children in the car. What would you tell to a young person that wants to get involved in golf? How young did you get involved, and how did you get the obsession for the game?
Oh man, that is I would say it's never too young to start. It's also never too late to start. And that this game will teach you more than any school ever can.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think everyone should be playing it.
I agree.
In some fashion.
I have always said that for young people, this is a great game because it teaches you honesty, it teaches you etiquette, it teaches you that you have to dress a certain way, that you just can't show up any way you want, that there are rules you have to answer to somebody. I've said that for decades. That
honesty, discipline.
Yeah.
I mean, you meet so many different kinds of people. You have to talk to everyone. Teaches you how to be social and communicate. And it gives you confidence.
And it's a very humbling game, no matter how good you are.
Yeah. And to answer your question about when I got hooked, I think the first time I flushed a 7-iron, like truly from the middle, took a nice divot, saw it go high. I was like, "Whoa, that was a cool feeling."
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I know.
I've been chasing it ever since.
Yeah, me too. Too much of different results, but me too. Congratulations, man. And we hope to talk to you when you get back, that you've either won or qualified or done exceptionally well. We know you'll make us proud. And again, congratulations. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course, Rob. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Manav Shah. And what makes it even better, he's a better kid than he is a player. He really is. He's a great kid from a great family. I got to meet his family out at the BC Open. You guys remember when he chipped in on the 72nd hole on 18 to win it? I've had that same chip and actually knocked it off the green with a 60-degree wedge. Hit it right in the middle of the ball and went rolling all the way up to the bar, as a matter of fact, as I remember. Kidding. Let's say a prayer for this kid, man. This is some exciting stuff. Quick timeout. We'll check the board, see what you all are talking about. The president at another pseudo news conference where he attacked the Supreme Court on birthright citizenship. You will hear from Donald Trump. Mr. Turnseed says adieu as he meets us, greets us, and leaves us. He too going on vacation for a little bit. Then at 4:30, our money man, Daniel Petrie, joins us. That's all coming up right here on the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we stream live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 90.
Luigi's.
KERN.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Was at Lawson's last night and ran into Julie Escalante, bartender extraordinaire at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen. And I know everybody knows Julie. She's been in the bar for years now. And of course, don't forget about the Bailey Bar outside. It's a great venue. But again, what can I tell you about Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen that you don't already know? You all voted them in the most recent Bakersfield, California poll just about best everything. They got best restaurant, best steak, best everything. And of course, they're one of the most iconic restaurants in Kern County, if not the single most iconic restaurant, being in business for 116 years. In fact, if you've been on the internet, there's a reel from a woman who went down to Beverly Hills, and one of the Beverly Hills waitresses knew about Luigi's and talked about the great food she had when she was visiting Bakersfield. Where would you rather be than at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show?
Most people don't want more financial information. They want clarity. They want to know they're making the right moves and that someone's actually paying attention. That's what we do at MoneyWise. We help you organize your financial life, plan for what's ahead, and make decisions with confidence, whether retirement is around the corner or still years away. And now you'll find us in a new place, the historic Woolworths building, right in the heart of downtown Bakersfield. A piece of local history reimagined for what's next. MoneyWise, thoughtful planning, real conversations. Visit MoneyWiseGuys.com to get started.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through LPL Financial. LPL Financial and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Pet stains on your carpet? Carpet Outlet Plus has everything you need to make your floors pet-proof. With over 100 in-stock waterproof floors, Carpet Outlet Plus can solve your pet problems for good. We also stock over 50 colors of pet-perfect carpet. Call, click, or come by today for your free in-home estimate. Don't forget, for the do-it-yourselfer, we also offer free next-day delivery on all qualifying stock floors. And as a bonus, go to carpetoutletplus.com and apply for 12 months no-interest financing. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERS.
Wake me up before you go.
842-537-6842-K. I'm really excited about this. I really am. He's a good kid, Manav Shah. And that's kind of cool. He's going to have his wife on the bag. That's pretty cool. I've known Manav for a couple of years now, and he's just a really good kid and deserves all the success that he has earned. He has worked hard. He truly has. And amongst all the local kids that are out there that play, I think he said it best. I think he wins with his mind. And I think that explains now why I suck. Because I just don't think, and maybe, I don't know whether it's age or whether it's I've been playing too long, but I just can't concentrate for 18 holes. Mike and I ran into Jim Scott over the weekend, and he asked me how my game was, and I said, Jim, if you played with me for 6 holes, you would think I was a player. Dude, I hit on the par 5, I hit 3 of the best shots I've ever hit in my life. And I lied to Nick and said it was for eagle. I don't know why I said it was for eagle. How I thought I got home with 2 and had a birdie putt, missed it. And then I said, and for 6 holes, you'd think, okay, he's okay. That's a nice bogey. But then for 6 holes, you'd think I started playing like 2 days ago. I'm still, I had a wedge coming home on 16 and hit it 20 yards and just stupid, making doubles on par 3s and just doing stupid things. And it's the mind. He's right. It really is. If you could concentrate, golf is your game, but it's humbling. You've got to be able to, you're going to make bad shots. So you've got to be able to just, forget about it, move on, and just trust your swing. And that's another thing. It's just about consistency. I think my swing is different every single time I pull it back. But other than that, I'm a pretty good golfer. What do you got on the board before we get Mr. Turnip Seed in here?
I just have one here. It says, our president consistently cheats at golf. What does that teach us, Ralph?
Really? That if you become president of the United States, you can cheat at golf. Bill Clinton was famous for it. You know who else was famous for it, according to Arnie? Dwight Eisenhower. He said he didn't cheat, but, when you're the president, you can pick up a 6-footer. Who's going to say, put that down, Mr. President? That's not good. Who's going to say when Dwight Eisenhower says, is that good? Who's going to say, no, you got to put it out, Ike? You know what I'm saying? Reagan didn't really play. Nixon didn't play. Carter didn't play. But Clinton, from what I've been told from several celebrity sources, was famous for cheating. Famous for cheating. Hard not to cheat when you know that somebody's not going to question you. You know what I'm saying? Is that it?
Yeah, that's all we got.
All right. As I talked about, the president used the I don't know what he was doing in the White House, but he goes into these impromptu news conferences, and he used this one peculiarly to attack the Supreme Court, because I think he knows. I hope Teresa Goldner is listening, because I'm going to start with the truffles, and then I think I'm going to have the salmon. I'm trying to get you to take me on a Thursday, because we have a bet on birthright citizenship. Teresa believes, our former federal magistrate judge, that the Supreme Court is going to side with Trump on this. And I just don't think there's a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. Well, I think the president realizes this, because he was going off on the court today.
I think if Democrats took control of the Congress, I think that, and let's say took control of the country, I think that this country's finished. These people are sick. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, but really they have bad policy. They have horrible policy. They cheat on elections. They get elected by cheating on elections. But you would have two states added. They'll terminate the filibuster immediately. Republicans should do that. They'll terminate the filibuster. You'll have Washington, D.C., and you'll have Puerto Rico as a state, which will be a disaster, which would be 4 Senate seats, tremendous numbers of electoral college votes. You will have that's really bad, but you will have the destruction of our country. They want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. That's their perfect number. They talk about 13, but they want to go to 21 Supreme Court judges. If they get in power, I think this country would be maybe finished.
Obviously, that was the wrong bite, but that's an important bite, because somewhere, Chris, I've heard that. I can't remember where I heard that the second, and who disagreed with me? Somebody disagreed with me yesterday. Was it Teresa this week? Somebody disagreed with
Probably
me.
Howard, if it was yesterday.
Was it Howard? That doesn't think that when they get into power that they're going to get rid of the filibuster? That's the very first thing they're going to do. And as the president chronicled, as I've been telling you for how long have I been telling you that? The first thing they're going to do is pack the court. You really think if they're in power, they're going to live with a 6-3 conservative court? Are you going crazy? They're going to get rid of the filibuster the minute they gain power. And as I've talked about, and I haven't been parroting, I came up with this months ago. And maybe I did hear it from the president. Who cares? But he's right. As I've told you, the D.C. statehood movement was alive when I was in college. No, not Cal State, Morehouse College in the 1980s. Literally. I've told you the story. I met Walter Fauntleroy, who was the D.C. designee. D.C. has no vote. They have a representative, but they have no vote. It's called a designee. And he was pumping that. He was on our campus pumping, making D.C. a state. That is a real deal. It'll be Puerto Rico and D.C. And the number I heard, he says 21. Of course, the fish was that big with Donald Trump. I've heard they're going to go to 15, but believe me, they're going to pack the court. Meantime, here's the president on birthright citizenship.
And if the Supreme Court approves that decision, they've done a great disservice to the United States of America, just like they did a great disservice by costing us $149 billion on tariffs by saying, do it a different way. Get the same result, do it a different way. We should have won that decision. We had a very strong, very powerful dissent. We had 3 dissents. So it wasn't like a unanimous decision by any means. We had very powerful dissents. When you read that dissent, people that read that dissent say, you really should have won this case. We should have won that case on tariffs. That case cost our country $149 million. It goes to people that hate our country.
He's talking about Supreme Court justices, some of whom he appointed. Here's one more from the president.
Birthright citizenship. It would be a disgrace. It would be a disgrace if the Supreme Court of the United States allows that to happen. Remember what I said, 20 to 25% of the people coming into our country will come in through birthright citizenship. They'll become citizens through birthright citizenship, and it'll cost us numbers that are, I don't even think they're doable. And it's all up to a couple of people, and I hope they do what's right. Birthright citizenship is a disgrace. The fact that, look at the people that are bringing the suit.
I don't know whether he's trying to intimidate the justices or he realizes he's going to lose. I don't know what he's doing there, but we'll see what happens. It's a Thursday. The soon-to-be on vacation Michael Turnipseed joins us next.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. President Trump remains firm on his position that Iran will not have access to any nuclear material to build a dirty bomb. Correspondent Laura Winters reports.
What?
President Trump taking questions on various topics from reporters in the Oval Office on the subject of Iran. The president says his position has not changed. Radicals in that country will not have access to nuclear material. Here's the president.
We get the highly enriched. We will get it. We don't need it. We don't want it. We'll probably destroy it after we get it, but we're not going to let them have it.
Laura Winters reporting.
Millions in the U.S. are getting away for Memorial Day.
AAA predicts 45 million Americans will travel at least 50 miles from home this holiday weekend, around 39 million by car. It's a record number, but only about a 1% increase from 2025. Inflation and fuel prices are putting a dent in travelers' wallets. Government data shows airfares have gone up 20% this year, and AAA says the average price for gas is up 30%. Oakland University business professor Michael Greiner says Americans prioritize travel, but are likely to be making some adjustments.
They might not eat out as much as they might have, or they might not spend as much money on certain more expensive activities.
I'm Jennifer King.
Senate Republicans have departed Washington for the Memorial Day recess without voting on a roughly $70 billion bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies. Voting on the bill was abruptly called off on Thursday. Republicans are debating whether to try and block a new $1.776 billion settlement fund to compensate Trump allies. They failed to reach a resolution after a tense meeting with Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 276 points. The Nasdaq rose 22. More at townhall.com.
If you're considering investing in precious metals, don't wait. The Iranian conflict seems to be nearing an end, and the time is now to position your retirement for massive growth. Advantage Gold is America's #1 precious metals company, and they want to send you a free gold and silver investor guide valued at $49 when you call 800-900-8000. Plus, you'll get a free copy of economist Ken Rogoff's book, Our Dollar, Your Problem. Our specialists can help you open a new account or transfer funds from an existing IRA, tax and penalty free, and show you how a gold-backed IRA can put real tangible assets into your retirement portfolio. Markets react to news cycles, but gold has maintained its value through inflation, volatility, and economic uncertainty. When the purchasing power of the dollar declines, that's when investors turn to gold and silver. Make your move now. Call Advantage Gold at 800-900-8000. Results may vary. Consult your financial advisor before investing. Call 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
I know. I love phone books.
A social media.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Morning 5.
How a man ended up being shot and killed in Tulare. I'm Chris Davis. Tulare County deputies shot that man when he ran out of his house toward them with a black cell phone in his hand, and deputies mistook it for a weapon, say the preliminary reports on Wednesday's shooting, which happened at a house on Matheny Drive in Tulare. Deputies had been sent there to check on that man, and he refused to come out at first. The man's name has not been released. The California Department of Justice now has the investigation. If you've been following the story of the death of 15-year-old Cecilia Cece Toussaint of Trona, which happened October 26th, 2024, when she was run over and killed on West Las Flores Avenue in Ridgecrest, you should be aware that police for now have suspended the investigation into the hit and run. In a prepared statement released Wednesday, they say that they have reached many dead ends in their attempts to find out who ran over and killed the girl about 2 that morning. 25 years to life is how long Kristen
And then I called my
Call in or
boy,
text to
and they said,
661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this Thursday. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. Streaming live at KERNradio.com, broadcasting live on YouTube. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, our money man, Daniel Petrie. And coming up at 5, I'll tell you about a documentary that's coming out regarding Michael Jackson. And yeah, it deals exclusively and specifically about his situation. 10 felony counts, all acquitted, but they'll get into that. Talk a little baseball. The Dodgers on a road trip. They take 2 out of 3 from San Diego. Shohei Ohtani led the ball game off first pitch with a home run and then pitched 5 scoreless innings, getting out of a bases loaded situation with 1 out. And they go on to shut out the Padres. I think they are totally intimidated by us. I really do. I know that's stupid to say on a professional level, but if you examine this series, they did things that they don't do. What's your guy's name? Miller, Johnny Miller, Miller Lite, Glenn Miller. What's his name? What's the child's name?
Mason Miller.
Not only did we give him his first loss in a year, but he lost the game. He had call picked off, and he threw it into right field. We're playing Little League all of a sudden. Just saying. I think they're intimidated by us. I really, really do. Meantime, it's a Thursday. Executive Director of Current Tax, sitting to my left, your right, Mike Turnipseed. How are you, Mr. T?
Another day, Ralph.
Another day in paradise.
Another Thursday afternoon.
Yes. And what's really going on?
What's really going on today?
That's a nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Green is a nice color on you.
Thank you.
So what's really
I have
going
one
on?
in blue, I have one in red, and I have one in green.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are those Bakersfield Country Club shirts?
Tommy Bahamas.
Excuse me. Tommy Bahama.
I buy them on sale when they have their $50 off. I get a little card. And
those are not cheap shirts.
No, that's why you got to wait for the $50 card.
You know, all my Dodger shirts are Tommy Bahamas.
Nice
You know,
shirt.
the
Those
Dodger
are
shirts.
nice shirts.
Those are nice shirts. I got them as gifts from a former friend, but they're really nice shirts.
A former friend.
Yes.
How many former friends do you have?
Oh, not that many. Not that many. I just don't have many friends. But you can't run out on me when I'm in trouble. You're not a friend. I don't want to get into it, but do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, friends are the people you call at 4 a.m.
Or if you get attacked in a bar, they kind of hang out and see if you're okay instead of running out the front door like they're the ones getting attacked. But let's not relive old things. What's going to happen with the president's weaponization fund? He's getting some blowback from the Senate.
I absolutely hope someplace, sometime, whether it's the Supreme Court or the Senate, that you have just made almost a $2 billion slush fund.
So why am I getting...
If you were just ever somebody looked at you the wrong way and you felt wronged, you're going to get money.
So why is my audience hammering me on this? They're all in favor of it. Howard made an argument for it.
If you're a supporter, you elected Trump, and if you're a Republican about being conservative with money and deficits and everything,
and we're going to give away $2 billion. Yeah.
For, that's just $2 billion.
Crazy.
It's still $2 billion.
Do you hear some of the people that are applying already? Mike Lindell, the pillow grifter. The grifter. He's a grifter, Mike. How many times has that guy been sued? How many times has he been charged with fraud? And Enrique Torrio, the head of the Proud Boys. George Santos.
I know the Proud Boys are probably all getting. Everybody who's in D.C. on Jan 6th is going to end up getting what? 100, 200, 300 $1 million?
Why can't everyone see this incentivizes criminality? Does it not?
I didn't know that there was a permanent fund there.
there's a fund that's funded all the time, and this
I
was
didn't
just
either.
on top of that fund.
I didn't either. I had no idea. And did you hear how they're going about it? Listen to this. I don't know if you heard, I read this earlier, but the agreement states, according to the Washington Post, the agreement states that the payments will be reported quarterly to the Justice Department, but the records will remain confidential. And that the fund members, the 5 appointees by Todd Blanche, who, by the way, just happened to be the president's personal attorney before he made him assistant attorney general, then fired Pam Bondi. Now he's the attorney general. He puts in the fund members. They will get to decide whether to disclose their process for granting or denying the claim. So in other words, we're not going to know what the criteria was to get the money. We're not going to know how much money Mike Lindell or Torrio or any of the Proud Boys get. And we won't know the process in which they determined that they should get the money. But this isn't a grift. It's all on the up and up. Give me a break. This is one of the greatest grifts since the Sting.
It's greater.
It is. Gondorf and Robert Redford couldn't have come up with this.
Yeah, there wasn't $2 billion in this thing.
No, it was $500,000. Robert Shaw left $500,000 down there.
Now, it is just what happens when all accountability is out the window. There's nobody accountable to anybody anymore. They just do what they want to do, and people do, take advantage. And if it was
a horde of black, if there were a horde of black folks,
if it was any other time, I think 90% of the people it'd be 90% pay. What are you doing with my money?
And if it had been BLM or just members of the NAACP, just a horde of black people, I think this country would look at this entirely differently. And again, I know I'm famous for bringing up race, and my audience is going to kill me for it, but I believe that in my heart, that if it had been BLM, Howard Marcus and the rest of them would say, they're not giving those people any money. You kidding me? And under this, technically, BLM folks who were prosecuted up in Washington and up in the Northwest, they could apply. Now they're not going to get it because these members are appointed by Todd Blanche, but it's a slippery slope that's nuts. Cuckoo.
And because it's some kind of award, I think it's all tax-free.
Yeah. It's the greatest grift since the Lufthansa heist.
It's like turning over the keys to Fort Knox or the printing presses or whatever. I mean, it's just
to people who committed violent crimes.
There's no accountability.
Nope.
And what happened? We all saw the video at the White House, at the Capitol that day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt the video. You can't.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. And to think that people did that to our Capitol, and when they got convicted, they got pardoned.
Yes, they did. Or their sentence got commuted.
Maybe they were just following orders,
Yeah. And let's remember the motive. That's really the most dangerous part. They were trying to stop the democratic process. They were trying to stop the certification of an election. They were hunting down Mike Pence, who, as I've talked about, ran for his life with his children and wife in tow. How can you support that? How can you just say that's not that big a deal and the people that perpetrated such a crime should somehow become millionaires? I'm telling you.
It's more than millionaires because it's tax-free.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you pay half your taxes, for every dollar you get, you're really getting two.
One guy is asking for $30 million. $30 million. And if he gets it, we'll never know. Because of the process, according to the Washington Post, we'll never know. Can the Senate stop this?
I guess they can.
You know what they're doing? They're trying to use the leverage of they're not going to pass his ICE and immigration bill. He's for the first time, the Senate is fighting back against Trump.
Well, when you're looking at what most people would think, people like Cornyn, people like Macy, they're good guys.
Yeah.
They do their job. They show up every day. They respect the dollar. They expect the money. And you just personal vendetta, and it just shows that people vote with the.
Do you agree with me that Cornyn's career is over? Ken Paxton's going to beat him now that he's got the president's endorsement in that runoff, but that
probably.
That James Tallarico is going to beat Paxton, because Paxton is a nightmare of a candidate. And even if he wins, the Republican Party is going to end up spending $100, $150, $200 million that they would have never had to have spent on John Cornyn.
I don't think when they look, you're probably right, Ralph.
You think Tallarico's going to win?
How much money do you throw down the rat hole? Sometimes somebody's going to say, "Hey, folks, he's not going to win."
Well, this could be the difference between the Democrats or the Republicans holding the Senate.
Oh, it could be. So that could be $150 million.
Because that's a huge win for the Democrats. You know who the last Democratic senator out of Texas was?
And the lady.
No, Ann Richards,
Ann
former
Richards?
governor. No,
She didn't. Who?
Senator, you're no John Kennedy. You remember who said that in a great debate? Lloyd Benson.
Lloyd Benson.
Lloyd Benson was the last Texas senator, and I was in my 20s, Mike. Hell, even you were young back then.
Lloyd Benson, a name from the past.
Yes.
I remember that debate. No, I remember that debate.
Where Quayle somehow referenced John Kennedy, and I'll never forget it. Benson said, just calmly, that old Texas way, he said, "Senator, I knew John Kennedy. John Kennedy was a friend of mine. Senator, you're no John Kennedy." And people went berserk. It was like lights out. The debate's over. But Bush still won, because Dukakis was a nightmare.
Well, the Dukakis in the tank with the funny hat on.
With the helmet.
Trumps all pictures of all time.
Yeah. I got to meet Mike Dukakis. I covered the '88 convention for the Los Angeles Sentinel. I ran over Carl Rowan. Remember Carl Rowan, the very famous black journalist?
Yeah.
He was coming off of a elevator, and I did the Count Basie to him. I just jumped on the elevator and bumped him, almost knocked him over. So, "I'm sorry, sir." And I looked up. I'm like, "Oh, you're Carl Rowan. Sir, it's nice to meet you." "It's nice to meet you, young man." But yeah, I covered that convention. It was fun.
It was nice that you knew him.
That I knew who Carl Rowan was?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Legendary journalist. Legendary. And then that was a fun convention. That's the convention where a young John Kennedy Jr. spoke. And of course, we were there working for the LA Sentinel because Jesse had about 349 delegates. And if he walked out of the convention, Michael Dukakis wasn't going to get the nomination. So, of course, Jackson played coy and finally, of course, came back to the fold, as everyone expected.
For something.
Yeah. Oh, of course. Of
For
course.
something.
I forgot what that's a good question. I forgot what he got out of that, because that ended up being my story. Because I interviewed Jesse, but my managing editor took the story from me.
Of course.
Yeah. And I quit the paper 2 months later.
He took your story?
She did. I had 45 minutes with Jesse Jackson in a trailer, and it's going to be front page. I was going to try to sell it maybe. And she said, "Give me your notes." Betty Pleasant, horrible human being. What's going on here locally? We got a couple of minutes left.
Well, it seems every month when the Board of Supervisors are doing their budget reviews, the news gets worse.
Yeah. What's the bad news now?
Oh, it's just some more things are being cut and different things are happening. And but they've been through it, and they'll say whatever the numbers are, they're going to make it. They make it work.
Yeah.
I mean, and the presentation, and if you want, there's one thing different. The county staff, they lay it out. Things are crappy. And this is what's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen. It's not like, well, maybe we'll touch a little bit here and cut a little bit there. They're laying it out. No, we're not going to. There's 70 people gone here. There's 35 people gone here. And they don't try to hide anything. And I think that's what I respect the most about them, that they're very blunt and don't expect that libraries are going to be open very long, and don't expect that sheriffs aren't going to be replaced because the money's not there.
Yeah. I know what I wanted to talk to you about. I'm sad that I waited this long because we only got a couple of minutes left. But we had Dr. Stacy Pfluger in here to let her take a victory lap on the fact that they removed the interim in front of her name. She's now the president of Bakersfield College. But I had to say that it was with kind of a bittersweet day, because we also learned the departure of Chancellor Stephen Bloomberg, which absolutely stunned me. Your thoughts?
I am very impressed with Dr. Bloomberg and what he was doing. And it seems like every time I called him, he was somewhere meeting with somebody.
Yep.
Trying to put things together and do things. And but it really didn't surprise me, because I guess he thought that this would be a step for him, or he wanted to be. It's obviously you move up the ladder, but he has contacts with people. I know in some projects, he's a name dropper and has relationships, and was meeting with people that just are trying to do some really different things here in education. And who's going to follow that up? I mean, I know he has plans for things, and I don't know who is going to be able to do his work and get that done.
Do you really think it's going to thwart some of the projects that they have on plan? Like, for example, the medical situation with Morehouse College and bringing some of those med students out here? You think that's going to put a dent in any of that?
That was more like Dignity Health and Memorial Hospital, I think. That wasn't, he had some vision of really expanding the healthcare training in a big way. I mean, multiple ways. Instead of doing 100 kids, we're going to do 300 or 400 kids, and we're going to expand different fields of training, because he was really convinced that the only way we're going to address our health problems is we're going to have to grow at our own, get our kids to go to BC and work with them. So, your AA an AA gets you pretty well. You can be an RN with an AA.
Yeah.
2 years. So instead of spending 4 years, you get them in 2 years, you get twice as many with the same amount of seats. And he had some very creative ideas about workforce development, which I thought was good.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. He'll be tough to replace. He's going
the thing
to.
That we talked about too at our annual meeting at BC this summer. There is going to be a camp for elementary kids.
Yeah,
4th graders,
we've talked
8th
about
graders,
that. We've talked about
they're
that.
going to be there for the month of June, and they've already got plans for expanding it to Saracoso and Porterville, and hopefully making it go as far as it can go.
Yeah, we've talked about it several times. Final. Did you hear our interview with Manav Shah?
I heard your interview. I was driving
Aren't
over.
you excited about that, dude? He's playing the U.S. Open. We ran into him on Saturday. Weren't you with me when we ran into him by the pro shop?
Yeah.
And he was telling us he was going to Texas to try to qualify.
Yeah.
Shot 500 over 2 days. So excited for this kid.
He's good. He's good.
He is good. He is good. And he's, like I said, I think he's a better kid than he is a player. Comes from a great family.
Very, very polite.
Yes. Really good kid.
Mr. Bailey.
Mike Turnipseed, everybody. Never mind. Quick time out. Daniel Petrie joins us at the bottom of the hour. It's TLBS. Don't go anywhere. So what am I supposed to say next Thursday? Mike's just gone.
Kern Radio.
Huh?
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Talking to your kids about the
well,
dangers
then there
of
you go.
vaping
They
in
won't
your
even know when you're gone.
Getting them to listen to hot gossip.
Throw them a
Easy.
curveball.
So here's some drama you could share with your kid.
I don't really replace
Did you hear about Cassie and Jake? No. But
I
did you hear that
replaced Teresa
vaping
'cause
can
we
cause
talked
irreversible
law, but I
lung
don't
damage and
replace-
nicotine affects brain development?
Bentley's not going to be able to find it.
You don't need to
Howard's
gossip
not
if
gonna
you want
be
to have
here
an
on
open
Wednesday.
conversation about vaping. So if you want to get tips on when and how to talk to your kids, Visit
Teresa, 'cause we need
talkaboutVaping.org.
And
Brought to you
'cause
by the
she's the
American
only
Lung
guest on
Association and the
Tuesdays.
Ad Council.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and
I
friend
don't
of Mr.
know,
Paul Sheldon.
Mike.
It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of
So
you my
frustrated.
absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar
Of my
feedback from my
future?
doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation through the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary
Chancellor?
health challenges, his longstanding and most
Well, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think?
expertly
What do you think?
trained
My
team of
future?
ladies,
You think
Christine,
you're gonna get rid of me?
Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully
It
guide
ends in
clients
July.
through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not
Wow.
possibly do any better than
He's
to
been
reach
my
out to Paul
biggest
Sheldon several months
cheerleader.
before turning 65.
Fluger
Thank you.
kind of intimated that we continue doing this because I said something like, "Oh, we have a BC person."
2298. And we're back. California Fruit Depot.
Yeah.
Rob and Bob here. Advertising for California Fruit
I'm
Depot. We've told you in the
technically
past.
KCCD.
If you want to go, Google them.
No,
Go
now
up to
I'm-
Red Bank
now I'm
Road.
BC.
They've got
Now I'm
free
BC.
lemons,
Exit
They cut me
119.
off occasionally,
citrus,
because I don't think Nova-
dates, date shakes,
Nova had too many
smoothies,
balls in the party
lemonades.
to deal
So
with me.
moving on.
So I'm technically BC now.
California Fruit Depot has hired us, and
I
now
know
they are
that.
going to sponsor us.
No, I
Our
don't.
triumphant
No, I don't.
return back.
Yeah.
1230 KERN.
Yeah. Eight 842-5376, 842-KER, and Daniel Petrie coming up in just a minute. Anything left on the board before we get Daniel in here?
Yes, we got a couple. Clinton cheating doesn't surprise me. Ike cheating does.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I don't think Arnie said he cheated, but there's presidential power. Arnie laughingly said, he'd have like a 5-footer, and he'd just turn to Arnie, "Is this good?" And Arnie'd say, "What am I going to say? No, Mr. President, you got to put that out." And he'd pick it up, put it in his pocket. Is that cheating? Technically, no. Arnie gave it to him. The first rule in golf is if they give you a putt, you pick it up and you run like a thief.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first rule in golf. Because my matches with guys where you're playing 2-on-2, one of the partners will give it to you, and the other partner will be like, "What? No, 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 no." That's why, look, too late. I picked it up already. Sorry. First rule of golf. Pick that thing up and run to the next tee. So technically, the man who saved us in World War II was not a cheater. But Clinton and Trump, shoot. There's video on Reels of Trump doing the Bailey, shanking like a wedge from like 100 yards. And he kind of looks around and puts down another ball and puts it on the green. Secret Service go running after that ball.
Great shot, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Great shot, sir. I do that with turn seed every now and again. That didn't count, Mike. I'm hitting another one. I don't care. Mulligan, that's exactly right. Quick time out. We're off to 21st and Oak. Daniel Petrie joins us next. Well, then hell, let's play this weekend.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. Senate Republicans have
And where are you going now?
Washington for the Memorial Day recess without voting on a roughly $70 billion bill to fund immigration enforcement agencies.
Weird choice.
Voting on the bill was abruptly called off on Thursday Republicans are debating
On the
whether
vote,
to
I
try
guess.
and block a new $1.776 billion settlement fund to compensate Trump allies. They failed to reach a resolution after a tense meeting with acting Attorney General Todd Blanche. The former leader of a Minnesota nonprofit has been sentenced to nearly 42 years in prison for her role in a staggering $250 million fraud case. Amy Bach ran Feeding Our Future, which had claimed it provided millions of meals to children in need during the pandemic. On Wall Street, the Dow by 276 points. This is SRN News.
It was a station thing. Darnell promoted.
Kern
Me,
Radio,
McKay. I had to go
News
with
Talk
Jazz.
96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
No, yeah,
I'm
this was
Chris
20 years
Davis,
ago.
the man who was
This was
shot
20
and
years ago.
killed Wednesday on
All right,
Medini
we'll see
Drive
you
in
next
Tulare
Thursday
by
then.
Tulare
I thought
County.
you were gone
Deputies
already.
ran out of a house at them with a black cell phone in his hand, they say. The man was shot and died, and the object then was determined to have been a phone. The California Department of Justice now has the investigation. The hit-and-run investigation into the October 26, 2024 death of 15-year-old CC Toussaint in Ridgecrest has been suspended for now, say Ridgecrest police, who say they have run into many dead ends in the past 2 years. Bakersfield police are promising tough consequences for illegal parking lot takeovers and car stunts. Last weekend, they impounded 5 cars and gave out 28 tickets. I'm Chris Davis in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Supervisor Jeff Flores here. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together for Kern County. We've completed over 75 miles of new roads, as well as major road repairs, improving safety and traffic flow. We've opened a new facility on Roberts Lane that has captured 7 million pounds of bulky waste from our streets, completed major upgrades at Samlin Ballpark and Hart Park, where a water splash pad is now under construction. And when you asked for stronger public safety, I listened and took action. We filled more than 200 new deputies and counting.
I'm Sheriff Donnie Youngblood. I've watched Jeff prove himself from day one, especially his commitment to public safety. Jeff listens and follows through. Our county is better for it. Please join me in voting for Jeff Flores.
I'm proud of the real progress we've made, but there's more work to do. I will continue fighting for a safer, stronger Kern County. I'm Jeff Flores, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Ad paid for by Jeff Flores for Supervisor 2026.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different, and I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful, that taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's Thursday. Time to head to the corner at 21st and Oak, the offices of Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. How are you, Daniel?
I'm doing well, Ralph. How are you?
Pretty good. Getting my stitches out tomorrow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, are you watching on YouTube? No?
You get your stitches out?
Yes, I had my that knot on my head. Well, you don't see me that often.
No, but I did see on Facebook you posted a picture.
Yeah, my lymphoma. I finally had it removed last week. And
Where do you get those, by the way?
No idea. But they're very common from what the ladies told me. It's at Bakersfield Dermatology and Skin Cancer.
But they didn't go into where they...
No, it's just a fatty, benign tissue that some people get on their arms. I've had, there were like 60 comments when I posted that picture. And some people were telling me, yeah, I've got one on my back. I had one on my arm. They just pop up, and one popped up on my head. And it's so funny. If you go through my pictures through the years, you can see it grow. It started off and looked like a kind of a pimple, then it looked like a bump. And then finally it got to about 3 centimeters. And I finally just said, let's just deal with it.
Well, yeah, you don't want to walk around like a rhinoceros the rest of your life.
I could not, man. I'm as old as I am now. And as ugly as I am at my old age, I didn't give a dude. Don't you remember? I used to walk around with a carbuncle on the back of my head.
I guess it is
That
a strategy.
thing. That thing was disgusting.
You
remember that carbuncle? You remember my carbuncle?
I think I do. Yes.
Thing was it was literally like purple. It was disgusting, and I didn't give a dog. I wore that thing on the back of my head for like 2 years.
Wear it with pride, huh?
The only time I was paranoid is when I was dating Monica at the time. We would go to church every Sunday. When I'd go to church, or if I went to a ball game,
Sitting in front of people.
Yes, knowing that they're staring at it for like 2 hours. Yeah,
Like I don't want to stare at it, but I can't take my
you can't
eyes
help.
off.
Yeah.
And the more I stare at it, the more I don't want to stare at it, but the more I can't take my eyes off.
Yeah. That was traumatic, because that thing, it's huge. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that? You see that bald spot on my head? That whole thing was the carbuncle. And when they removed it, I had to wear like a head Band-Aid. I looked like the kid in the 1776 with the fife, you know what I'm saying? With the Band-Aid wrapped around my head. And one night I was sleeping and I just felt like this moisture in my pillow. And I looked up and I was profusely bleeding.
Oh, no.
And it was like a dark, deep red.
Oh.
And I had to change the Band-Aid in the middle of the night. And I was scared to death. I thought I was going to bleed to death. You know me, Mr. Drama. And it was pretty scary. But this was nothing. This was nothing. I fell asleep during the procedure.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it was pretty comfortable.
I'm trying to figure out how to watch you on YouTube. And I've found you on YouTube, but it's all just like 2 days ago or 5 days.
Well, just go to YouTube. Just go YouTube and punch in Ralph Bailey. And you should see me live. I'm wearing my Vince Scully t-shirt, my blue Vince Scully t-shirt. Should say 5/21/26. Should say the Ralph Bailey Show with Manav Shah, 5/21/26.
Play the latest. Is it today? 5/18?
No, that's a couple of days ago.
Oh.
Yeah, well, let's not do this during our segment. What's going on with you?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's happening?
Well, I want to know. I must solve this puzzle.
You can go back and watch it later.
I'm doing fine. Well, I didn't get to see your carbuncle scar, and I'm.
Oh, well, you can go back and watch it.
Okay.
You can go back and watch it later. That's the best. The live part, I don't give a damn about. What's great about it is if people miss an interview like Manav Shah can call his family, say, hey, I was on the Ralph Bailey Show, go back and listen to it. Or if you miss something, because not everybody listens for 3 hours. And if you miss something, you can go back later tonight or even tomorrow, punch it in and catch up.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what is the fight over this anti-weaponization fund impacting our economy at all?
Do we have is there a, how do I say this? Because you and Turnip Seed talked about this a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Is there a, I don't want to say consequence because everything has consequences. Is it final? Like, is what he's doing done? Or do the Democrats have a way to try to stop it? Or does it need congressional approval?
Republicans are trying to stop it.
Yeah.
John Thune, the majority leader, is not happy. He was upset initially this week because the president backed an unwinnable Texas Senate candidate in Ken Paxton.
Yeah.
It's going to cost us
a little bit.
Yeah. And then now they are not with this thing, and they're not with the process, which is incredibly clandestine. There's no transparency to it. He's not fighting just Democrats. He's fighting the Senate. And whether apparently they're going to try to use the leverage of the immigration and ICE bill, which has not been funded, to coerce him to maybe drop this. Now, Trump, ain't no way in hell he's going to drop this. So it's going to be an interesting fight.
Yeah, that will be interesting. I'll have to try to follow that a little, because I've heard it and I knew what was going on, but I didn't hear all the. I've been busy today. I didn't hear all the rancor back and forth about it. So.
Yeah, well, I played some audio from Tom Tillis, the senator from North Carolina, Like I said, the majority leader, John Thune, isn't happy. There are a number of Republicans, and, with a 53-man majority, you just need about 4 or 5. Yeah, exactly. It's a done deal.
Which he always seems to lose 2 or 3 regardless. I mean, there's a few hardcore. Some of them seem to do it and not get his wrath, and others, maybe it depends who's up for re-election, I suppose. I don't know. Interesting times. But no, I haven't seen anything related to that. The market had a nice little reversal today, but I think that was on a rumor of an Iran deal.
Yes, there has been great speculation. Marco Rubio sounded very, very, he said, I don't want to get ahead of us, but we're getting closer. The phrase I think he uses, there are fewer gaps. I think that's the Secretary of State, the phrase that he used.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I do trust Rubio to be pretty.
I do too.
Pretty accurate.
And sober and real. And
not hyperbole.
Yeah.
It's interesting though. Oil is up after hours again. I mean, it's down off the highs from a couple days ago, but it's hard. It's hard to know day to day. And I still wonder over there in Iran, are the ones they're dealing with actually leading the troops in the country that are doing things, or?
Well, I think that's part of the issue. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think we get good information from some sources, and then the very next day we get another, communique from another group, maybe the IRGC.
And they say you're crazy. We're not doing this.
Exactly.
We're not doing that.
Exactly.
And so I could it even hold if the people they're negotiating with agree to it? I don't know.
I'll tell you this: if Trump can pull this off, and we can somehow get some kind of moratorium or get that uranium out of Tehran,
yes,
he's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents ever.
And
he really will,
down and get everything kind of back to normal,
and just change the whole face of the Middle East for the first time in 50 years.
It would be huge, and he can actually say that I do things. Everybody talks about it, but I get in there and do it.
Yep.
Which I think is what he tries to do anyway. Whether he's successful or not is another story.
Yep, absolutely. Where do we stand in the deficit? Another $29 billion.
Well, yeah, you can pretty much just rack it up.
You really can. Isn't that scary?
Very much so.
That an idiot radio talk show host can predict exactly what the deficit will be by week by week.
We have some weeks where it's a little better, and we have anomalies out there, but it pretty much, nothing changes.
That's frightening. It really is, Daniel.
It did go up again. Gold and silver, although we're down for the week. Gold sitting around 45.40.
That's still not bad.
Not bad, actually, a little lower than that as I checked recently. And silver's at 76.88, a little lower than that as I checked, which was down 8%. But silver has been very volatile.
Yeah.
Floating around high 60s to when it fell from 117 back in January. I don't know what the average would be there, maybe high 70s or right around 80. But I still see nothing that makes me think that, hey, things are going to change, that there's not a place for gold and silver and it's going to come down. I mean, the debt is just one reason, but there are others. And the market seems to be pricing in a good result for Iran, or at least that it's over, even if it's not a great result.
Right.
And if it is over, then it'll help with inflation, and then we can start getting back to actual economic numbers pushing things and company profits, as opposed to what may or may not happen day to day with Iran.
Be nice to have the Strait open. That's for certain.
Yeah, that's the longer that goes, the more potential there is for something bad happening. Meaning, hey, some countries out of oil, we got to cancel flights, we don't have fuel, or fertilizer, or some other random product that really throws things into a haywire.
Yeah, like Cuba, who's in the dark.
Yeah, that's
I mean, I can't imagine a country in the dark.
No, I mean, you're going back hundreds of years. You're living sunrise to sunset, pretty much.
The decades and decades and decades of the Castro regime has finally come home to roost. And those people are just miserable. And it makes you wonder whether or not Kennedy should have really gone in full force during the Bay of Pigs when we had the opportunity.
It would have been potentially devastating, but in the long run, it would have been much better for Cuba and us, I suppose.
Yeah. But he was really afraid of World War III.
Yeah, we were on the edge, precipice there.
Plus, there were Russian personnel on the ground, and if we had killed them, then you are starting World War III. Same reason the Cuban Missile Crisis was such a huge deal a couple years later.
People don't realize how close we came, do they?
No, they really don't. Very few people understand what happened during the Cuban Missile Crisis. That we had an airman die. It was shot down. Very few people were aware of that. And you're right, just how close it came between the interpretation of Robert Kennedy. Robert Kennedy's the one that saved it. It was Kennedy's idea. What happened was they got a communique from Nikita Khrushchev basically agreeing that if we take our missiles out of Turkey, that he pulled the missiles out of Cuba. We responded, we can't do that openly. We can do that 6 months down the road. And then the next day, we get a communique from the Politburo, from the power that played hardcore. And so the administration didn't know what to do. And so Bobby Kennedy came up with the idea, just ignore the second one. Let's react to the first one. It's Khrushchev's. We'll make it public. We'll respond to that. What are they going to do? Deny it? And that's exactly what they did. And that's really what solved the Cuban Missile Crisis.
On a whim, so to speak.
Yes, on just a lucky hunch by Bobby Kennedy, who was really the brains behind the Kennedy administration.
Yeah.
And just about everything John Kennedy did, really.
And yet got none of the,
he didn't want it. He didn't want
many. He got but a lot of people don't even know.
Yeah. The opening of the University of Alabama, when George Wallace was going to stand in the doorway and not let black kids come in, Bobby Kennedy engineered that whole thing and made it, got those kids in that school. He would have made a wonderful president. That was a horrible year, 1968.
Yeah.
Where we lost Dr. King and Bobby Kennedy in just a matter of months.
It's funny the twists and turns of fate and history and decisions, and it can change. I mean, many things.
Can you imagine there had been no Watergate?
Oh,
journalism would not have been as popular as it was in the 1970s.
Yeah, it would have changed a lot.
It would have changed life as we know it. Because going into the 70s, the most popular grad schools were obviously med schools and law schools. And then after Woodward and Bernstein, two cop reporters became national figures. Journalism schools were the #1 grad school in the country throughout like most of the 70s and the 80s.
Yeah.
Life, it's just a trip.
It very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, not just on a personal level, but big levels as well.
Absolutely. Changes the world.
Yeah. Wrong turn at one point, and Ralph meets his future wife, and he goes the other way, and he's a bachelor forever.
No, marriage. I knew by the time I was 35 that marriage. Up until about 35, 40, I was very pro marriage. But then I was like, nah. Once I got into TV, I just would say I'm not going to be married, because I thought I was going to be a television star and I was going to jump around the country until I got to a big market, and I wasn't going to, keep my wife in tow and have her have to change jobs, bop. And then when that didn't work out, then the whole idea of marriage, I just soured on.
Life has a way of. I thought I'd have a ton of kids. Like, I grew up with a bunch of brothers and sisters. I just thought, I'll do that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Life throws curveballs.
Yes, it does. Final before I let you go.
What are you doing for Memorial Day?
No idea.
All right.
I have no idea, because the nephew is out of town. He normally swoops down here and scoops me up. We go to LA, but he is going to.
How's he doing?
No, this is the other nephew, the oldest nephew.
Oh, how's
the 19-year-old's doing extremely well.
Oh, good.
Just finished his first year in college. Did successfully, from what my mother tells me, and everything's going well.
Good.
Yeah.
Tough to make good decisions at that age sometimes. So
Yeah, he's a pretty grounded kid though, and
that
he's got Harriet on his back, so he's the warden.
a
The warden will,
tremendous advantage.
oh yeah, the warden will take care of him. That's what I called her when I was a kid. Look out! Here comes the warden.
Here comes the warden with their posse. My dad behind her.
Yeah. Oh no, the dad was the cops.
Yeah.
If I was in my room and I heard my dad coming down the hallway, I'd tell my friends, "Look out! Here come the cops." True story. All right, Darren, have a great weekend.
Likewise, have a good weekend.
All right, we'll talk to you next Thursday. Daniel Petrie with Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. Call him if you're contemplating, staring, about to leap into retirement. 395-9400, 395-9400. And again, his office is right on the corner of 21st and Oak. I'll pass it as I'm headed home. Quick timeout, headed into the 5. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Thursday, right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230, and we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk,
Adaptive.
KERN.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
You know, cybersecurity is a tremendous issue in the 21st century. We've talked about this with Jennifer and Ryan Van Alstyne, owner-operators of Adaptive Networks, the IT company that Kern Radio Studios are powered by. And why did we get in bed with the folks at Adaptive Networks? Because of their reliability and their quick service. Again, as I've talked about repeatedly, we're a radio station. We absolutely depend on our IT. We can't have somebody say, well, we'll be there tomorrow. We'll be there on Monday. No. We need them here today. And that's why we've turned to the folks at Adaptive Networks, as you should as well. And again, as I talked about, cybersecurity is the number one issue when it comes to IT. I've told you about the academic absolute hostage of their information. Well, Adaptive Networks can stave that off. And if they don't, they can retrieve your information without a ransom. Call the folks at Adaptive Networks today at 661-241-0638. That's 241-0638. Or hit them online at adaptive-net.com.
In 2026, Bay Alarm celebrates 80 years of security. For the Central Valley, that means local service including burglar and fire alarm systems, 24/7 in-house monitoring, and custom security designed to work with business operations. Bay Alarm has real people rooted in your community looking out for your business. After 8 decades and 3 generations of family ownership, our promise is still the same. We got you. Learn more at bayalarm.com.
We all start as tiny seeds, needing care, love, and a little sunlight. Then boom, we sprout, stretch, and grow through the world of childhood and teen years. Before you know it, we're blooming, working, parenting, thriving. And yes, even golden petals can shine bright. Join Kern County Public Health and thrive like a poppy. Visit KernPublicHealth.com to learn more.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk. Of my pillow, Ralph.
I didn't say he produces a bad product. I just said he's a grifter. Go Google the guy. Go see how many times he's been sued. And he's one of the all-time election deniers. And I'm sorry, I just think people that are election deniers are either in personal denial or they're just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, how many times does this thing have to be adjudicated? How many times do we have to go through this? And again, my thesis has always been, okay, if you truly believe that the Democratic Party has a mechanism to overturn an election, why do they lose? Why in the world do they lose? If in 2020 they created this mechanism that could mess with the Dominion or whatever balloting company or whatever, why do they do it every 4 years? Because it's made up nonsense. It's made up nonsense. Have you ever heard Donald Trump say, we just lost? Have you ever, no matter what the race is? He was talking about it today. We played some audio today where he said that the Democrats cheat and that's all they do. And so I'm sorry, if you are an election denier, I just think you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And then when you look into Mike Lindell's past and his history, he's a grifter. I think his grift was he was actually selling pillows for like $39.99, but would try to say that that was the sale price or something like that. I should have looked him up if I was going to talk about him. But this guy is P.T. Barnum. No, P.T. Barnum just was trying to sell tickets. This guy is a grifter and cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, think about it. He's a multimillionaire and he wants some of the $1.8 billion for what? For what? What were you wrongfully prosecuted for? I'll look him up and talk more about him tomorrow. I should have done that today. I just thought I was bringing him up just willy-nilly, but if I'm going to talk about him, I should be able to chronicle his grifts. What else you got?
Ralph is a first-generation Hispanic female whose parents did all of the citizenship paperwork legally and correctly. I hope and pray that the SCOTUS does away with birthright citizenship BS once and for all. It's being abused by so many corners of the world, and we're just letting them all walk right on in. I say do it to the legal right way. Do it the legal right way. Enough is enough.
But what do you do about someone born here? So my parents come from Uganda, right, in 1962, and I'm born here. And you're saying that I should not have birthright citizenship, then where am I from? I'm certainly not Ugandan. I can't go back to Uganda. What if my parents, so now I'm 12 years old and my parents from Uganda die. Where am I from? If I'm not from America, where I was born, and I've never been to Uganda, and I have no connections to Uganda, my parents left there before I was even a speck in my dad's eye, then where am I from? I have no citizenship. A little problem there. If you can solve that, text me in and tell me where am I from? If a set of parents come from a foreign country, they settle here, have a child, and they both die, where is that child from? What do we put on his, let somebody say they die. What do we put on that child's birth certificate? That he's from Uganda? Even though he was born at Centinela Hospital in Inglewood, Los Angeles, California? If you want to put a little Betty bet on whether the Supreme Court is going to get rid of birthright citizenship, I'm covering all bets. It's just a logistical nightmare. And you're right, it is being taken advantage, particularly by the Chinese, but we can combat that legislatively. We head into the final hour of the broadcast. I'd stick around if I you.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. A A judge has issued a lengthy sentence to a Minnesota woman for fraud, and the search for other alleged scammers continues.
In what is billed by officials as the largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the country, Amy Bach has been sentenced to nearly 42 years in prison. Bach ran Feeding Our Future and was convicted in a staggering $250 million fraud case that helped ignite an immigration crackdown in Minnesota by the Trump administration. After the sentencing, authorities held a news conference to announce charges against 15 more people accused of fraud in receiving federal payments for a variety of social services administered through Minnesota's state government. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Hurricane season begins soon, and NOAA Administrator Neil Jacobs says they forecast that the Atlantic will see fewer storms than average this year, due mostly to a developing El Nino formation in the Pacific.
With roughly a 55% chance of being below normal, 35% chance of near normal, and a 10% chance of above normal. This equates to 8 to 14 named storms with winds at or above 39 miles an hour. Of these, 3 to 6 hurricanes with winds at or above 74 miles an hour, and 1 to 3 major hurricanes, that's your category 3 to 5, with winds at or above 111 miles an hour.
A judge dismissed all charges against a former school administrator accused of ignoring warnings about a 6-year-old with a gun. The judge ruled Thursday that the actions of Ebony Parker did not constitute a crime. On Wall Street, the Dow up by 276 points, the Nasdaq rose 22, the S&P 500 advanced 12, oil near $98 a barrel. More at townhall.com.
Hey, if your loved one is aging but still mobile, still values their independence, there's a simple tool that keeps them safe and keeps you in the know. I am proud to tell you about Safety Plus by Connected Caregiver. Safety Plus is a wearable device that alerts you immediately if your loved one has had a fall. They can wear it as a necklace, on their belt, but there's even a great watch option. There's even a simple push button on the device, allowing mom or dad instant access to emergency services. As you age, it's not like you plan for a fall. Suddenly your knee might lock up. There's an uneven surface, wet floor. There's simply no excuse to not wear something discreet that keeps you safe and can keep you at home longer. That's Safety Plus by Connected Caregiver. To see if you qualify for a free device, call 888-870-8020, 888-870-8020, or visit ccgoffer.com. ccgoffer.com. Again, 888-870-8020. With Connected Caregiver, peace of mind is just a phone call away.
A drop in oil.
From the KERN Newsroom, you're live and local news update.
Why in the world?
How a man ended up being shot and killed in Tulare.
Look at it, barbecue chicken.
Tulare County deputies shot that man when he ran out of his house toward them with a black cell phone in his hand, and deputies mistook it for a weapon, say the preliminary reports on Wednesday's shooting, which happened at a house on Matheny Drive in Tulare. Deputies had been sent there to check on that man, and he refused to come out at first. The man's name has not been released. The California Department of Justice now has the investigation. If you've been following the story of the death of 15-year-old Cecilia Cece Toussaint of Trona, which happened October 26, 2024, when she was run over and killed on West Las Flores Avenue in Ridgecrest, you should be aware that police for now have suspended the investigation into the hit and run. In a prepared statement released Wednesday, they say that they have reached many dead ends in their attempts to find out who ran over and killed the girl about 2 that morning. 25 years to life is how long Christopher Kelady will serve in prison for the December 7th, 2024 stabbing death of his aunt, 45-year-old Maria Carmen Torres, which happened at their house on Haley Street and was in an ongoing argument over a clogged toilet. Torres was about to kick Kelady and his sister out of the house, say prosecutors, when an insult in the hallway broke the camel's back. And Kelady pepper sprayed his aunt, then stabbed her 7 times.
To the rest well, in a month from now, this Hollywood Big Shot's gonna give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
The Ralph Bailey Show, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842.
See all the celebrities that were there?
Oh, they're all going to be riding the Knicks
So,
now.
oh yeah. Ben Stiller, Dustin Hoffman.
Him and Timothy Chalamet are the only two I actually give credit to for being Knicks fans.
Chalamet. Don't even show Spike anymore.
No.
Everybody knows Spike is going to be.
Spike is now being